What's up, guys? So today I have an upper body circuit workout for you. We're going to work all the major muscle groups in the upper body. We're going to get started with a body weight warm-up, so grab your mat and let's go. Alright, so this first exercise, we're just going into a body weight push-up into a downward dog. Make sure you contract your core. Let your core help bring you back into the down dog. So open up your shoulders. Get everything nice and warm. The next movement, we're going to do Superman pullbacks. So you'll be on your stomach. Come up with your legs, feet, and hands, and then pull down. Draw the scapula or your shoulder blades back in together. Try to use your glutes, not your low back as much. The next movement is a low plank hold. So you'll just get into the top portion of a plank and then just bend your elbows just slightly so that you really have to contract your triceps and core to hold in this position. Okay, so for scapula push-ups, you get down into a forearm plank position, and then you're going to just drop your torso down. You're going to be bringing these shoulder blades forward and back and together. Okay, so the next movement is reverse plank to tricep dip. So you're going to flip over, do 3 tricep dips, and walk your feet out into a reverse plank. If you can, keep your feet out the whole time and do the tricep dips, and then just come up into a full reverse plank, and then do that. Alright, it's time to get into the workout. So the first movement we have are going to be bent over rows. We're going to alternate the arms. We have 6 moves total in each circuit. The last move in each circuit is going to be deadlifts. Pick a weight that is challenging for you, as we will not be repeating this movement. Make sure you're leading with your elbows back, and you're not actually just doing a bicep curl. So you really want to focus on pulling the elbow to the ceiling, right alongside your rib cage. We're just doing a classic push-up, so find your natural push-up hand placement. Tighten your core, make sure you don't have your butt sticking up in the air, and if classic push-ups are too difficult, drop your knees to your mat, but still maintain a straight line from shoulder to knees. Alright, for an overhead press, you want to pick a nice challenging weight, as the shoulder complex is a very strong muscle group. So you're going to bring the weight down and just parallel to the shoulder, and then push it back up overhead until the elbows lock out. Getting into the next movement, which is alternating bicep curls. Again, you want to pick a nice challenging weight for this because we're only doing 35 seconds. We really want to make sure by the end of this interval that the biceps are nice and challenged. The next move is triceps pop-ups. So you'll be in the top of a plank, but your hands will be farther out. They won't be directly under your shoulders. They'll be more parallel with the top of your head. And then you're just going to bend only at the elbow, while trying to keep everything else still and straight. You want this exclusively in the triceps. If this is too hard from the top of plank, you can of course drop your knee. And just again, make sure that the hand placement is farther out than your face. Okay, so now we've got our first set of stiff leg deadlifts. So make sure that you keep the weights very close to your legs the whole way down. Stick your butt way back because we want to create tension in the hamstrings. And then use that tension to bring us back up into standing. And then make sure you do a nice little glute squeeze and tuck at the top. Okay, moving into our next circuit. So we're going to be starting with straight arm pullbacks, which is just like it sounds. Bring the weight down in front of you and then control them up and on the way down as well. We're targeting the lats with this exercise, but you are also going to feel it a little bit in the triceps. So you want to pick about a moderate weight. into alternating chest press, which is exactly like it sounds. So we're doing a dumbbell chest press, but we're only doing one arm at a time, which requires a lot more stability from your core. Make sure you control this on the way up and on the way down. The next move in our circuit is going to be traffic arms. We call that because two different things are happening. So you're going to be doing a front raise with one arm and a side raise with the other arm, and then you're going to switch for the next rep. Which one is in front and which one is out to the side. This is a little challenging. It's kind of like patting your head and rubbing your stomach, but that's why we like it, because it's neuromuscularly efficient for strengthening and translates well to the real world. Okay, so our next movement is going to be in and out curls. Just going to do a regular bicep curl and then externally rotate your arms and do a curl in that external rotation and then rotate back. So you're basically you're drawing a big U with the end of the dumbbell. Our next move are alternating tricep kickbacks. So you're going to bend at the hinge at your hip, bring the elbows up, and then just push back without allowing the upper arm to move or swing. So keep this nice and controlled. This also requires a lot of core stability because we're doing one arm at a time in a bent over position. Alright, and we're on to our second set of stiff leg deadlifts. Remember, keep the weight nice and close to your legs, hinge at the hip, and then come back up and do a nice glute squeeze at the top. Don't forget that part, a little bonus work. Getting into our third circuit, the first movement, are back flies. You will need a lighter weight if you have it. Otherwise, just try to complete as many reps as you can with the weight that you do have. I'm going to hinge forward slightly. Make sure that you are pulling the shoulder blades back and together. Don't let your arms start elevating up. Keep them parallel with your shoulders as best as possible. You can use a nice soft elbow for this as well. So keep the arms wide. The next movement is a chest movement. We're doing staggered hand release push-ups. So one hand will be slightly higher, the other hand will be slightly lower than the other. When you come down, switch them, and then come back up into a push-up. Hand release push-ups are good because they don't allow you to just hang in the movement. You have to push up from a dead stop. For our next movement, we have Y raises to bent, pinky up flies. So what that is you're going to hinge forward at the hips, and you're going to do, with your thumbs up, you're going to bring the weight up into a Y. Then you're going to flip your hands over, bend over a little further, and lead with the pinky to do a back fly. So you're going to feel this in the front of the shoulder and the back of the shoulder. Zotman bicep curls are our next movement. So you begin them with a classic bicep curl. At the top of the movement, you'll flip your hands over and then slowly lower them down. It's a 3 to 1 tempo. So you want to go 1 second on the way up into the curl, 3 seconds eccentrically lowering. Our next movement is going to target triceps. So you're going to lay down on your back and do what's called chest drop extensions. So you're going to push the ends of the dumbbells together, drop them down toward your chest, and then bring them back up with the dumbbells ends still touching at all times. And now we'll do our next set of stiff leg deadlifts. Go ahead and grab your heavy weight. And let's get started. Getting into this next circuit, our first back movement are going to be trap raises. So they focus on the trapezius muscle right there at the top of the shoulders, and you're just going to lock your elbows out, come up into a Y shape with arms very straight. If you're new to lifting, you may need a light weight, and then work your way up. If you find that your shoulders are coming up too close to your ears, your weight is too heavy, so you can drop, and these are still extremely effective with a light weight. Going into the next movement, which is a chest exercise, we're doing wide push-ups. So your hands are quite a bit farther than a normal push-up, so these are going to be extremely hard because they pretty much take a lot of the triceps out of it. If you find these difficult to do up on your toes, you can definitely come down onto your knees, and they're still going to be extremely effective. The next move is a shoulder move. We're doing an over and back press. So you're going to start with the weights overhead and then bring them down in front of the chest. And then as you come up, you bring them down behind the head. Kind of making a U shape. An upside down U shape over your head. Alright, our next movement is a bicep curl with a wrist rotation at 90 degrees. So you're going to come up into a bicep curl, hold it, flip the wrists over, flip it back, finish the curl, and then come down. Getting right into diamond push-ups. So form a diamond shape with your index fingers and thumbs of your hand as close as you can. You can do these from up top or on your knees like I'm doing. Make sure you try to posteriorly tilt your pelvis so that you don't overarch and get that hammock effect in your low back that puts a lot of pressure on your spine. Really embrace your abs here. If this is still too difficult, you can just do a close grip push-up. And going into those stiff leg deadlifts to finish off this circuit. Our last circuit coming up. The first move are reverse rows, alternating arms. So hinge at the waist. Remember, lead with the elbow. Keep your shoulders down and back here. Brace at the core so that you don't overarch your low back. Alright, going into chest flies. So you're going to bring the dumbbells together, lower them out to the side, nice and controlled, and bring them back in like you're hugging a giant exercise ball or tree. As you can see, I'm doing a slight rotation at the top, tapping the dumbbell ends together just to get that little bit of functional rotation in. You don't have to add that element in if you don't want to. Moving into our next shoulder move, this is a Cuban press. So this consists of an upright row into an external rotation, overhead press, and then you reverse all those movements back down. So upright row, external rotation, press it overhead, lower it, and then bring it back down. Nice and controlled for each portion of the movement. For our next movement, we have hammer curls. So you're going to keep your palms toward your body and then just bring the dumbbells into a nice curl and down nice and controlled as well. So that your forearm and the dumbbell put together kind of makes the shape of a hammer. And we have tricep extensions overhead. Grab both ends of the dumbbells. You can also do this with the dumbbell vertical and with like a diamond grip. So you're just dropping it back behind your head and bringing it up, trying not to get excess sway or movement in those upper arms. You want all the movement to be coming at the elbows with those hinging down and then back up again. Make sure to not let your elbows flare out too wide either. Alright, grab your heavier weights if you have them. Get into the very last set of stiff leg deadlifts. And well done, guys. You are all done. Workout complete.